All my riding guides so far have featured big climbs and long windy descents, but Cape Solander is probably the only flat ride in Sydney. It's super scenic, and the whole time you ride next to the Pacific Ocean and some of Sydney's most beautiful beaches. When I first started riding, this is one of my favourite routes, but I was always too scared to get to South Sydney and I would always drive instead of riding. In this guide, I'm going to show you how to get to Cape Solander from the north side of the city. There's two different routes I'm going to showcase, one if you're riding with a big group, and one if you're by yourself or with a couple of people. In this video, I'm riding with my club Pastries.CC on what we thought would be a nice dry day, but ended up being a little bit wet. If I ride from home, this route is just under 100 kilometers long and about 300 meters elevation. And one great thing is because you pass back through the city and go past Centennial Park, you always have the option to add on a few laps there or do some hills or go to Lapperouse if you want extra kilometers. The first way I'm going to show you is what I do when I'm with a big group. Ride how you normally would if you were to go to Centennial Park. I go onto South Dowling Road and then onto Southern Cross Drive. This way is super fast as it's slightly downhill, and if you've got a tailwind you'll be absolutely flying. When you get to the airport tunnel, you want to stay in the second left lane. This is because the left lane becomes the M5 motorway. Once again, I can't stress enough, I would only do this route if I'm with a big group for better visibility. This is quite a busy road and there's cars flying past at like 80 kilometers an hour, so make sure you've got all your lights on and you're sticking together in a tight bunch. Once you get through the airport tunnel, you'll be on General Holmes Drive, which is just south of the airport. From home to here, for me, is about 19 kilometers. If you don't feel like going this way, an alternate route, which is much safer, is to go down the Burke Street Cycleway once you get to Zetlands. Keep going along here until you get to Mascot, where you go onto Princess Highway, and you can actually stay on Princess Highway all the way down to Sans Souci. For the remainder of the ride, the routes are identical. Now the next part of the ride is riding from General Holmes Drive to Kurnell. This part of the ride is about 14 kilometres and features some of the nicest places in Sydney: Brighton Le Sands, Ramsgate Beach, and going over the Captain Cook Bridge. There's no designated toilet or rest stops along this route, so I recommend that if you need to get more water or go anywhere, you can just go into fine establishments such as McDonald's or 7-Eleven petrol station. The next section is from Kurnell to Cape Solander. It's about 14 kilometers long, and this whole area here is incredibly popular with cyclists, mainly because it's super flat and there's also a wide shoulder. A really popular segment within this section is Kurnell East, which is 6.7 kilometers long, only has 10 meters vertical elevation, and is just super fast. For us, this is a great opportunity for our group to practice rolling turns and also do some other coordinated cycling activities since there's no traffic lights and not that much traffic. One thing to be aware of though is a lot of shards of glass and other things that are in the shoulder. Sometimes when it rains, these things just get washed to the side, and it's very common for people to get flats along here. In fact, on the way back home, we got a flat tire. Eventually you'll turn into Kamei Botany Bay National Park, and you'll ride all the way to the end till you get to the lookout. This is Cape Solander, and it's got a spectacular view of the Pacific Ocean. You're surrounded by sandstone cliffs, and this is a very popular spot for people to do whale watching. Now this opened very recently, but there's this brand new structure here, a shade shelter, and to be honest, I don't know what was the architectural inspiration behind it. It looks kind of weird and I don't think it's very practical. But maybe if someone who lives in the local area knows more about this, you can drop it in the comments below. said before, there's no designated refueling stop on this ride. That turnaround point at Cape Solander doesn't have a bathroom or water tap or anything. You're best to find somewhere along the way where you can park up. Usually, I park up back in the city. There's some good spots that are along the way. One of my favourites is Sonoma Bakehouse, which is in Alexandria, and I'll put that in the description below. Since this route is out and back, it's virtually exactly the same. The only difference is, if you're going back along Southern Cross Drive, you turn left at the BP here, so that you don't have to go over the flyover. Then you'll go past the airport and go back through the city. I kind of feel like I've done most of Sydney's major routes, so why don't you let me know in the comments below if there's anything that you'd like to know more about, if there's any routes that I haven't done and you want to see. I'm always looking for fun new things to do, so I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, you have a safe ride, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.